I am very sure you are all familiar with Kuzma Sergeyevich Petrov-Водкин, mainly as an outstanding painter and graphic artist, art theorist, a writer, and a teacher. His destiny, his personality, and love for native culture molded and painted his canvases. A huge variety of techniques were applied for different characters of images. While, as some art historians say, he deifies the image of a person, he treated his own image as critically as possible, graphically but vividly showing every wrinkle, every flaw. Using the symbolism associated with his homeland and faith, the iconography that so fascinated him, the tricolor of red, yellow, and blue, as well as the author's spherical perspective, he made his paintings not only immediately recognizable, but also instructive for subsequent artists. Kuzma Sergeyevich began his creative activity from early youth, inspired by the family century, who depicted various song plots and fairy tales. He received his first impression of professional fine art from visiting icon painters who painted the local Christian building. Painting classes in Samara, which the young man attended after graduating from college in his native Volynsk, the students did not try to paint from nature, which Kuzma Sergeyevich very much regretted later, saying they did not receive the true value of knowledge. On his return to Volynsk, a visiting St. Petersburg architect, Meltzer, happened to see his work. The architect was deeply impressed by the works of Petrov-Водкин, so he advised him to move to St. Petersburg to study painting. However, a local methodology teacher taught students dry accuracy, clarity criteria that drove him into too much of the framework, leaving no room for a free brush, creative mind. So, after 2 years, the young man went to study in Moscow. By an amazing coincidence, among the teachers were some of the best artists in Russia, including the передвижники, Serov, Kosatkin, Gorsky, and others. After studying in Moscow, he went to Italy, saw a variety of artworks, including those belonging to Leonardo da Vinci, which shocked him. Passing through France, Kuzma Sergeyevich found a wife and returned to Russia with her. The appearance of the painting Dream at the exhibition of the Union of Russian Artists caused a scandalous stir. Some called the artist an ignoramus, imitating the undereducated Matisse and Gauguin. Others appreciated the integrity of the forms and severity of the drawing in the picture. Although this served as effective advertisement, Petrov-Водкин could not understand the scandalous fame that suddenly fell upon him. He noted that he believes in the birth of oneself, in the simplification of language, accessories, and color. He spoke about the idea of an approaching awakening encrypted in the picture, about the imminent readiness to shake off sleepy stupor, about rebirth to life, symbolized by the revived erupting volcano depicted in the distance. Speaking of the volcano, Petrov-Водкин's visit to the Vesuvio volcano in Italy sends a fragment of the artist's next sensation, bathing the red horse. In the center of the composition, we immediately highlight the red horse itself. Art historians anonymously give a general description of its symbolism. Firstly, the size of the horse goes beyond the scope of the composition, which gives it a particularly vivid sense of enormity. His huge, almost intelligent eyes are also noted. The most interesting point under discussion is the similarity of this horse with the horses depicted on Orthodox icons. It consists mainly in the elegance of the horse, as well as the position in the front hoof. One symbolic difference is, again, its overall size compared to the rider. And, speaking of the rider, look at the expression he wears on his face. He's not that thoughtful, he is detached. So naked, which prevents us from associating him with any period of time or place. It's one of the symbols of the infinity, the universe, along the spherical outlines around the coast, referring us to the perspective, the artist's invention, extolling the composition as well as with the volcanic phenomena that sends us back to that very visit of Kuzma Sergeyevich to Vesuvio. The artist spoke of this experience as follows: "The earth shook so hard that the universe united with him and was directly felt close." Prophetic prosperities were attributed to this canvas and even still are attributed to it. And he saw in this bathing of the red horse an allegory for the motherland in the horse and the soul of the people in the rider. They saw that this composition symbolized huge, bloody changes in the country. So with each subsequent event, People thought the picture served as a symbol for them. The First World War, the Revolution of 1917, and the Great Patriotic War. And these are not the only cases when Kuzma Sergeyevich writes work of art under the influence of the political situation, the spirit of the people. However, if the previously mentioned works could be attributed to an unconscious response, this work reflects the situation quite consciously, even openly calls for peace. The Mother of God of tenderness towards evil hearts is another image of the Mother of God, so beloved by the artist. With a thoughtful, vague look, she places her hands as if telling us to calm down. Against the background are excerpts of plots, the crucifixion of Christ, baby Jesus in her arms. And the Mother of God seems to live in these moments. They are eternal, just as human suffering is eternal.